The Presidential Economic Advisory Council has urged the government to position South Africa on a path of rapid economic growth due to the changing global environment. It has also stressed the importance of technological advances in AI and of confronting climate change. PEAC members include prominent economists and technical experts drawn from academia and the private sector. President Cyril Ramaphosa says the council will play an important role in providing independent advice. That's as government looks to ensure that its economic policy is informed by sound evidence, innovation and a diversity of views and opinions. The head of state is expected to meet with the PEAC every second month. Karooooo has reported a 21% rise in earnings in the third quarter to a record R7.67. That's thanks to a stellar performance from Cartrack. The unit grew subscribers by 17%, which helped lift revenue. CEO Zach Callisto says the group is strongly positioned for growth and the firm's track record will allow the company to generate healthy cash flows. Given the third quarter performance, Karooooo believes it's on track to meet its full-year guidance. Afrimat's bolstered its leadership team and has appointed a deputy CFO for the first time in the company's history. Afrimat says Andre Smith, who served as interim deputy CFO during the Lafarge SA integration period, will take up the position on a permanent basis. And it's added that Peter de Wit, who served as integration officer for the merger, has returned to his regular duties as CFO. Authorities have pulled at least 60 bodies from the shaft of a closed gold mine, and close to 150 survivors have been pulled from the site and arrested for illegal mining. An unknown number of men are still feared to be trapped. This follows a siege and a crackdown on illegal mining. The siege began in August and cut off food and water supplies in an attempt to force miners to the surface. Government has stated that the siege is necessary to fight illegal mining, which Mining Minister Gwede Mantashe has called a war on the economy. But residents and rights groups have criticized the crackdown. For decades, South Africa's precious metals industry has battled illegal mining, which costs the government and industry hundreds of millions of dollars a year in lost sales, taxes and royalties. And the housing market is showing steady momentum. That's as both prices and sales activity improve across the country. The recovery initially began in the Western Cape and has now taken hold in Gauteng's three major metropolitan areas. Experts say this signals a wider market rebound and a more optimistic outlook for the housing sector as a whole. Further afield, good news for the BOE in the form of a surprise inflation cooling in December. Here's more detail in this package report.
Welcome news on Wednesday for Britain's Finance Minister Rachel Reeves after a market sell-off. British inflation slowed unexpectedly last month and core measures of growth, tracked by the Bank of England, fell more sharply. The annual rate of inflation edged down to 2.5% in December from 2.6% the month before. Economists polled by Reuters had mostly expected headline inflation to hold at November's figure. Inflation is expected to rise again, though, and Reeves said there was still work to be done. But investors increased their bets on the Bank of England cutting rates, putting an 82% chance on a first quarter-point reduction on February the 6th. Two rate cuts for 2025 were almost fully priced into the market, up from around 60% chance before the data. British government bond yields dropped from multi-decade highs hit in previous days. Sterling fell after the figures were published, but then reversed course and rose slightly in morning trade. The Bank of England has said Britain's persistent inflation pressures means it will move only gradually with reducing borrowing costs. That's despite signs that the economy is losing momentum. Underlying measures of price growth also slowed by more than expected last month. Core inflation, which excludes energy, food, alcohol and tobacco prices, fell to 3.2% from November's 3.5%. Services inflation also dropped to 4.4% in December, its lowest since March 2022.
And ahead of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump reigniting his tariff war with China, U.S. imports from China are robust as companies stockpile for the upcoming event. Let's take a look.
US imports from China finished the year strong. Companies have stockpiled shipments of toys, furniture and more ahead of Donald Trump's return to the White House. He plans to impose new tariffs that could revive a trade war between the two countries. Trump has threatened to slap tariffs of 10 to 60% on goods from China. During his first term, he mainly targeted Chinese parts and components. Economists and trade experts predict his next wave of tariffs could apply to finished goods. Beijing said Monday December exports surged to record levels. Officials cited concerns about escalating trade protectionism in the US and Europe. Trade data showed goods from China landing at US seaports in December rose by 14.5% year over year. Some US retailers may have rushed in goods to avoid the cost hit from potential new tariffs. But the analysis is complicated. Teasing out the true effect of overall import gains is difficult because importers keep such data private. Resilient US shoppers have also fueled demand, while some importers brought in safety stocks to protect against disruptions from Houthi attacks on shipping near the Suez Canal trade shortcut.